This is Jasper usual, and continuing my playthrough of the Outer Worlds. Okay, ignore that. Yeah, so pushing some main quests today. We'll see how far I can get. So yeah, hope you enjoy. I can't even remember what I did last. Interesting. We'll see, I guess. Ooh, not new game. What? Continue. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, this is where I am. Talking to these people.
I don't know you.
I don't
Whatever
know you.
you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
I'm looking for Adelaide. I need some answers.
Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
Reed said something about former workers living out in the wilderness.
Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Where can I find Adelaide?
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
Oh. Trouble with marauders?
You don't know what enough with the questions means? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
Upbeat, a little strange, loves Rizzo's. Yeah, I met Zoe. She was in a marauder camp.
Thank the Eternal. Wait, marauder camp? Is she alright?
Mostly. You mean in the head or?
Zoe's family. Chiding her is our purview, not yours. If you could bring her home, I'd be obliged. And if you could cross off some marauders on the way, I'd be much obliged.
I've got questions about Zoe.
I'll tell you what I can.
How well do you know her?
Well enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does.
You seem so personable. Can't imagine how you didn't get on with her.
She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own. What
Change
is
the
it?
subject. I'll leave you. Stefan. Where is Stefan? Don't mind me. It's that way. Oh, that's Zoe. Let's talk to these people. Or Stefan.
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with?
I'm told one of your numbers gone missing.
You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off.
What happened to on the day Zoe disappeared?
Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
Who, me? Tell me a little bit about Zoe.
Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her.
What was that about surprising Zoe?
The other day I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day.
Any chance you can lend me that copy of the Masked Marketeer?
Not much of a chance, no. Mind if I ask why you're interested?
No reason. Zoe's living with marauders nearby. I need something to tempt her back to camp.
Zoe's living with marauders? Yeah, that sounds like the sort of sideways, sprat-brained plan Zoe'd come up with. Yeah, it could be you're telling the truth. Or maybe you're trying to wheedle me into relinquishing my only copy of the Masked Marketeer. It's a collector's edition after all.
Collector's edition, you say? Look at my face.
Yeah, you're probably right. A true fan would have displayed a gleam in their eye upon hearing the words collector's edition. Here you go, latest copy of the Masked Marketeer. Tell Zoe we're all waiting on her.
I've got more questions.
I'll help if I can.
Was she acting strange before she disappeared?
Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd.
Sounds legit. Hold on, there was something else.
Hey, I got time. Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
You promised ribs. I see no ribs. Oh, there's a guy here.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
Garbage. So many places to steal. Hey, it's you again. Okay. More scraps. Just because I get sick, everybody gets sick. For real.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Not much.
Hey, that's against regulation.
Oops.
What do you think you're doing?
Nothing. I was just leaving.
Carry on.
How did you even see that? There's
Keep your wits about you,
servers
friend.
everywhere. What an odd kitchen. Is that a kitchen? Yeah, it is. jeez. Close the door. Okay. Can I break into there now?
Wow, you got that?
Okay, all good. There. More people.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Where? Thomas. Thomas. Hey, Thomas.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. You're, what, how are you? Hi, hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep
Great,
stuff
just
running,
great.
just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry,
I'm
I
not.
just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been
Either.
chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
Never too late to start learning. I could give you a couple pointers.
I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
Okay. Today's your lucky day, Thomas. I've got one of those data pads where you want it.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one?
That one. Elusive Part 3. Someone stashed it away inside the old geothermal plant.
The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals.
It
I
is.
appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me.
I'll let you know if I
Sure,
find others.
I'd be glad to take them off your hands.
Something else.
What's on your mind?
How long have you lived here?
Couple months. This camp's my home. People you see milling about, they're my family. At least I think of them that way. I owe them my life. Would have died in the wilderness if they hadn't chanced upon me, starving and delirious.
What were you doing out in the wilderness?
We all left the cannery for one reason or another. Me? I was let go, mostly on account of my incompetence. I mean, I was incompetent. I couldn't even survive on my own. Grace found me, Adelaide took me in, I've been on my feet ever since.
You weren't incompetent. You just didn't fit the cannery. Not like here. This place had a U-shaped hole, and now it doesn't.
You could stay, you know. Here. I'd be happy to... I mean, we could really use... oh, this isn't coming out right. If you want, Adelaide would make a place for you.
Okay, bye. Oh. Why are there mines? Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Not suspicious at all. Okay. Let's go talk to this guy. It's so pretty. Yeah, she can see me. Personal files. Oh, hack. May the Eternal bless my first endeavor. It's been 2 days since I walked away from life at the Edgewater Cannery. Fortuitously. I'm not gonna even try that. The old botanical labs are still operational mostly. The soil's sour. I'll do what I can, but I'm gonna need some powerful fertilizer. Tired of having the taste of Saltoon lingering in my mouth, on my tongue, day in day out. I want something fresh, something that grows out of the earth. We found another worker from Edgewater, ex-worker now. Desertion rates must be climbing. I'm not terribly surprised. Reed's style of management was always tyrannical. I imagine an exodus is brewing. At any rate, the worker was in a sorry state. Fever, shallow breathing, delirious, must have been plagued. Experiments. Hereby repurposing this botanical lab from its original conception as a gear in the soulless automaton of the corporate machine. It's become a nursery, something about the soil being too poor. After months of my own experimentation, that the secret to a rich and wholesome garden is love, attention, compassion, and natural fertilizer bursting with organic materials. Poop. Hey, wasn't I just here? No. Not worth it. Hey.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear?
You must be Adelaide.
I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon,
Marco.
but it's been cleaned.
Reed sent me to make peace with you.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
You're living off power that belongs to the town. Come back to the cannery. That's about it.
Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
Reed asked me to divert your power over to him. He mentioned a geothermal plant.
He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
Your camp has a power regulator. I need it to repair my ship.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
Don't play mind tricks on me. What have you got against the town?
You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's Choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
I don't much like you throwing that in her face to get me on your side.
I'm alright. I ain't so fragile.
It's the principles.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear.
What do you have against people trying to make a living?
It's not much of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones. You've been there. You've seen it.
It ain't that bad.
All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery.
Let's say I help you. What happens to Edgewater?
Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives.
You think Reed's just trying to spite you?
You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it.
I'll consider it.
I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Yeah. Hippie talk.
Anything else I can do for you?
This might sound strange, but I don't know where I am.
That's not strange at all, dear. Few of us truly know where we are. The world can seem like a forest without end, and it is all too easy to lose one's way. But we must remember that being lost is the first step in discovering yourself.
No, I mean, I actually don't know where I am.
This is the old botanical lab in Emerald Vale, on Terra 2. By the look on your face, I'm guessing you're not quite following me. Are you not feeling well? Ought to lay your head down if you're running fever.
I was kidnapped by a crazy scientist and shot into space, but thanks for asking.
That sounds like fever talk, all right. So why am I tempted to believe you? Where did you say you were from?
Does the Hope ring any bells?
Is that a new settlement of some kind? I haven't kept news from outside the Veil.
You've never met anyone from the Hope? There were thousands on that ship.
Oh dear. I see what's happening. You've been taking Adrena time. That stuff will burn right through your upper story. Leave you raving and babbling. You ought to try some of my purgative tea. Won't cure what ails you, but it will distract you for a spell.
You don't believe me?
Maybe I do. I don't know yet. Growing up, I heard my folks talking about the Hope. Always believed it was just a story we told ourselves to keep our spirits up. Listen, don't you worry about what I think. That's not important. Worry about what the board thinks of you going around talking about lost ships from decades past.
I'm not afraid of the board.
No, but the board may have reason to fear you.
I haven't done anything wrong.
You carry on about coming here from another world, and people will talk. Talk leads to questions. Ask enough questions, and the board comes answering.
Let's talk about something else.
I'm listening.
When we first talked, you assumed I'd come to live here.
I am getting old, you know. These two lamps of mine are not as bright as they once were. Or I might have seen you for what you are.
I don't imagine you get a lot of visitors.
My dear, we are all visitors in a momentary universe. Our lives flicker in and out like the guttering of a flame. Here now, then gone. Me and mine are just carrying on as best we can, trying to live our lives in a way that does not feel wasted.
Not a bad way to go about your life.
More of the colony felt the way you did, we'd have ourselves a proper revolution. I can't stop you from conducting your business down at the plant. I just want you to know that if you take our power away, you will have brought an end to our way of life.
You could always continue your way of life back in town.
Not under Reed's watch. He and I would come to blows within a day, and he would never tolerate my tending to a garden. This is my home. It will be my home even if Reed cuts our power. Simple as that.
You and Reed obviously have some sort of history.
That's because Reed was my boss. I was the cannery's one and only flavor specialist, you see. Remember that limited run of white chocolate saltuna? That was all me.
There's obviously more to it than that.
My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
I'm guessing Reed has his own side of that story.
I could not possibly care less if he does, but you're surely welcome to ask him.
You've talked enough. Right. Any clues on your computer? What I should do? Oops. No. Should I help the lady that poops in her plants? Okay. Where is that person? No, that's not it. This person. Oh, jeez. Can't fast travel there. Oh. Ooh. Lots of corpses. And lots of behemoths. No thanks. Oh, jeez. We're back. Yes. Ooh. Shot its head off. Ooh.
What I wouldn't do for a Wentworth.
I've been sent to find you.
Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong.
Stefan told me about your favorite cereal.
So you tracked me down just to gab about the Mass Marketeer? I am impressed.
Stefan wanted to watch this with you.
I see what's going on here. I'm being bribed.
Yep.
Well, it's working. I can't say no to my favorite cereal. I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is going to be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
Okay, bye. Ooh. Find the 3 volumes. Okay, can I fast travel now, please? Yay. Wait a second. Oh, this is outside of Edgewater. Eh. I haven't been here? I must have been. Right. That means I missed the room somehow. Right. Bam. are the stairs? Uh-huh. Oh wow. I guess I didn't go up here. Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay. Oh. I don't think I've been in here. Hello. Schedule your sick leave with your foreman or supervisor. Be considerate toward other members of the Spacer's Choice family. Allow 2 to 4 weeks to process and approve your scheduled sick leave. Tell us before you get sick. Oh. No, I have been here to talk to Reed. Joink. Okay, let's get up here. Oh, jeez. Oh. No one saw that, right? All right. Yeah. Thomas. Break down some weapons. Don't need you. Oops. they're the same. Okay. Oop, don't need you. Why not? Ooh, Tinker. Eh. Okay. Hello.
Any luck finding one of those manuals?
How about 2?
No kidding. Really? Well, which one?
Part 1.
Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years.
Potatoes.
2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment.
Hold on, I've got more for you.
Well, don't keep me in suspense. Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen.
Sure, why not?
Aside from you, Ms. Parvati, I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Thanks. And that's fine, Grace.
What is it?
I talked Zoe into coming back.
We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway?
She joined up with a band of marauders. They hadn't hurt her.
Zoe joined up with a band of marauders. Zoe. The same Zoe who doesn't know a barrel from a trigger. Well, I've heard stranger things. You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble.
Least.
Let me know if I can do something for you.
Okay. All right. Now, to help the mindless blood sucking corporation or the hippies? All right. Let's save this. Yes. Yes. Redirect power. Yes. Hippies win. Oh. And now to return to... I wonder what they would say. Oops. Eh. Oh.
You hear that? That low, pleasant hum of electricity? It whispers across the veil like the winds of change. You've done well. I would have paid my last 5 bits to see the look on Reed's face when the last lamp in town burnt out and the cannery fell to silence.
Hate the town all you want, it won't bring your son back.
Blunt as a hammer. But you're right. Nothing can undo the past. Time's come to look toward the future. We'll grow, I expect. A lot of workers out there with nowhere else to go.
You don't sound too pleased.
I don't look forward to turning folk away. Camp's gotta stay pure, though. Can't have corporate loyalists mixing with us, no matter how desperate they may be. I am curious. Why did you help us? You don't know who we are. You don't owe us a thing. The plant's crawling with mechanicals, so it stands to reason you risked your life.
I didn't do this for you. I'm trying to repair my ship.
Well, I have got nothing against a little good old-fashioned pragmatism. You're welcome among us if you're ever so inclined.
Thanks. Alright, Reed. What do you have to say for yourself? Oh.
Edgewater's experiencing what we in the profession like to call a quandary.
Quandary. Hello.
Just as I was on the mend, the cannery had to go and shut down.
Power's gone. Law knows how long. Looking to get drunk?
Sure.
Go ahead.
You asked me about myself.
Suppose I did. Ready to talk about it?
No.
That right. Prove it.
Crazy scientist stranded me on the planet with no way out other than a broken down ship.
Sounds as if you've been keeping questionable company. Or spinning a tale? You're right. I don't believe you. I'd advise you to keep that story unsaid. Don't want people thinking you're a loon.
So much for small talk.
Plague got you feeling...
Can I trade?
You tried the... The Hope? No, I've never mixed a drink by that name. I could get you a rum and something if you like. Wait,
So
no,
some
never mind.
shifty
We're
eyes.
all out of something.
I guess this means you've never heard of anybody from the Hope.
Yeah, I got vague recollections of some folklore about a mysterious colony ship.
Not
You
folklore.
feeling a bit flushed? Look, why don't you go set yourself down in the corner before you get all tangle-footed?
I'm not drunk.
Then pretend you're drunk. Sober folk don't talk the way you are. Not unless they're looking for a trip to Tartarus. The Hope's folklore, all right? 60, 70-year-old folklore by now. The board don't approve of spreading seditious rumors and falsehoods. You're inviting trouble talking that way, and I don't want a part of it.
You sound scared.
Look, either shut your gob or stick a drink in it. We're done talking about this.
Whatever, give me a drink.
Coming right up.
Definitely. Sell junk. These weigh. Yeah, they do weigh stuff. Personality attributes +1. So no. Okay. Let's sell all of it. I'm never gonna use all this stuff. Oops. Okay, whatever. Oh, good.
Cannery's dead. This is gonna throw a wrench into my actuarial tables.
Okay.
You want to know what gets my bile churning? Edgewater has suffered a cavalcade of disasters, plague, marauders, desertion. Then you wandered in town. And I was so damn sure our luck was starting to turn. I never knew how right I was. Just answer one question for me. Why'd you do it?
Felt like it. Not personal.
That power regulator is company property. Whatever you were hoping to find down here, I advise you to turn around and leave. I have got guards posted with orders to fire on you.
That's rude. Call off your guards. I don't want them bleeding all over my power regulator.
All right, easy now. Let's not do anything we'll regret. I'll order my guards to stand down. Take what you came for and then leave us be. You and I have got nothing more to say. Stand down.
Got it?
What?
Inside voices.
Lackeys. Yeah, wouldn't have been that hard of a fight. Boink.
You and I have got nothing more to say to each other.
But I do. I want to talk. I want to talk it out with you.
Maybe Adelaide was right to leave.
Desertion is a criminal offense, punishable by hard labor.
Hello.
Got my hands full at the moment. Make it quick, please.
Nope. Phyllis.
You picked a fine time to visit, stranger. I paid his burial fees, didn't I? Let the dead sleep.
Conrad tells me Eugene was in a suicide.
I don't understand. I found Eugene's body. I know the guy shot himself. Wait, are you telling me he was murdered?
He overdosed on medication. Medication drove him paranoid.
He was plagued? Oh, law, that's awful. I helped carry his body out. I could have been infected. This is all a little too much for me to take in. But I guess if Eugene wasn't a suicide, our town won't have to pay a penalty.
Take care.
Are we getting paid or not?
Nope. Will be deducted from your pay. Alright, let's go power up the ship. Okay. Fast travel.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. Edgewater won't last another season without power, but that don't change the fact that I'm indentured to Spacer's Choice. Company expects me back at my post.
There's just left Edgewater behind, nothing keeping you from doing the same.
I have imagined it, but until you came along, I never thought I had the choice. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes
You're
watching me
hired.
back, I can do that too. What do you think?
I'm
Yes!
glad.
I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Yes, Captain.
I can't stop thinking on Edgewater, Captain. I'm glad the deserters are gonna be alright now they got power, but what about the town? All those people.
Thomas seems very fond of you.
He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda.
I've not lately seen a man with a bigger or more obvious crush.
I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst.
I noticed you mentioned your dad a lot, but never your mother.
That's on account of how I never met her.
You mean she's dead?
I don't rightly know. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here.
Is that normal?
I don't know about normal. Dad said she worked under some kind of special contract. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
Okay.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room. I could spend hours reflecting on the secret workings of the universe. Little else in this colony offers such a relaxing pastime. So, tell me what's on your mind. I excel at confessional listening.
I'd like to know something about those I'm flying with. What's your story?
Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition.
That's somewhat concerning.
Oh, I eventually learned how to channel it into my quest for knowledge. But my childhood, that is a different tale. I grew up in a pit of a town much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them.
Why were you so passionate about it?
My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
But weren't they proud when you became a vicar at least?
They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me.
If you can't help but follow the plan, then everything you do is part of it, right?
The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our paths have variance, but we'll end up adhering to it, whether we like it or not. Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but the further outside you go, it's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction.
Seems quite trusting of you to just sign on without knowing anything about me.
I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated.
Makes sense.
What about you? What's your story?
I have none.
That's not... Let's try this again. Who are you? Where are you from?
I was a colonist on the Hope. A scientist named Wells saved me.
And how did he do that?
Stole my body from the Hope at the edge of the colony and thawed me out.
Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment I believe you. What are you going to do now?
Live. I'm helping him recover more of the chemicals we need to save the rest of the colonists.
That seems a dangerous proposition. Why risk your life now that it's been returned to you?
Just because it's the right thing to do.
A commendable attitude.
Any ideas where we can find someone who speaks French on this colony?
I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him.
Seems like a good lead, but how do we find him?
That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures.
How will a crew manifest help track down your scholarly friend.
I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifest to track the Philosophist's off-world destination.
Sounds good, let's go.
Thank you, Captain.
Captain, I have detected that the town of Edgewater is now without power. I appreciate you doing your part to hasten their demise.
You're welcome.
What can I do for you, Captain?
I have a power regulator.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Sure. You just put it into the slot.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
Okay. Ooh.
What can I do for you, Captain?
Fly away.
All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Let's go.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Good.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
I've been feeling a little lightheaded. Also, I can slow down time.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Culkelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Why do I need a nav key to land on a planet?
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Culkelly.
What's stopping me from just leaving Halcyon altogether?
Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the Hope.
How about this Gladys person? How do I know I can trust her?
Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
Can't I land somewhere outside Stellar Bay?
In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience. Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures, more than capable of tearing you limb from limb. You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Culkelly.
Fine.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
What is a holographic shroud?
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits. First-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
You mentioned this thing has limitations.
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
Why do I need that gadget for this? Couldn't I just steal a uniform or something?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
How the hell does a hologram sweeten your breath?
Science, that's how.
Okay.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power.
Wealth and power, you say?
The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Okay. Ooh, pretty. Okay, let's go to Groundbreaker. Wait, that's where I am. Okay. Oh, I thought that was my ship. Here you can see all the planets in the system, as well as some special points of interest that you may have discovered. You can fly your ship to any location that you have unlocked, though some landing bays require special codes and keys before they allow you to land there. Okay.
Mission reached. The Groundbreaker.
Anything
Welcome
else?
back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
I'd like to learn more about the colony.
What part of the colony would you like to discuss?
The
We're
Groundbreaker.
clear to dock with the Groundbreaker if that's your desired destination. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in triplicate and fees have been paid. The Mardettes take their docking laws quite seriously.
You can take care of that for us, right?
I can, yes. Let me add that to my list of 1,435,498 tasks I am simultaneously executing in order to run our ship. You are more than welcome, Captain.
Well, give me the spiel on Groundbreaker.
The Groundbreaker was Halcyon's original colony ship. It has since been repurposed as a service station in the Lagrange point of the system. Freighters often deliver or pick up goods from the Groundbreaker en route to other destinations. The city ship hosts an array of cargo bays, factories, housing sections, and more. Many of Halcyon's companies maintain office spaces with stationed representatives in what is considered a truly neutral territory within the system. I have filed the required docking forms in triplicate, and fees have been paid.
Oh, thanks.
Of course.
Something else?
What part of the colony would you like to discuss?
Phineas Orbital Lab.
Ah, yes. As Dr. Wells is a wanted outlaw, he built his laboratory into an asteroid. Orbital destinations can be challenging to land on. His more so than most.
Why is that?
The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure of precautions to make the lab undetectable to those hunting him. Even knowing the location, my systems resist my orders to go where I instruct them.
What do you know about Phineas?
There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. Shall I engage the laser weapons system? I shall happily comply with your order, just as soon as we have a laser weapons system. How can I...
Got a minute?
I have lots of minutes. Many minutes. Unlimited minutes, perhaps. Providing an adequate power source, I can function indefinitely.
What if you don't have a power source?
I prefer to think of it as being in a state of slumber, perhaps for an indefinite duration of time. Do you think that is what it's like for the colonists on the Lost Hope?
I guess so.
When I simulate myself in such a scenario, I do not find it to be desirable. I think my self-preservation protocols incline me to desire the alternative.
And what might that be?
Traveling the system with you, Captain.
Oh. What about your last captain? Do you miss him? Or is one captain the same as another?
Do you know what it feels like when the ship undergoes an unexpected power surge? A jolt to the system. I have felt that. I do feel that. As you may be aware, Captain Alex Hawthorne was a smuggler of some repute. I failed to predict the likely outcome of his reckless behavioral patterns. I should have predicted that. In our travels together, Alex liked to pass time by, as he called it, tinkering to improve my design.
Have there been other captains of the ship?
If you mean, was Captain Hawthorne my first? Yes, he was.
Okay.
How can I be of assistance?
I'm in the mood for some entertainment.
Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear?
Play my favorite song.
Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's Choice.
That's not my favorite song.
Everyone in Halcyon is contractually obligated to label this or another board-certified jingle their favorite song.
Tell me a joke.
I need a little help with my calculus. Can you integrate my natural log?
Haha.
As you wish, Captain. I must comply with all direct orders. I'll be here.
Okay, bye. Wait, what other planets were there? There are two. Phineas, Typhon, Hephaestus, Gila. Monarch, Eridanus, Olympus, and Mystery Planet. Okay.
Can we talk?
Sure. What's up?
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson?
What about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
I thought you said you could keep this boat in good repair.
I abso-surely can. I'm a passing fair mechanic. Even Mr. Thompson would have said it's my only skill. But I'm used to working on cannery lines, AG loaders and the like. There's tricks about ships I ain't learned yet. All I'm looking for is a few pointers. I bet a lady who runs a whole station has forgot more than I ever learned.
Are you asking to leave my crew and join hers?
Gosh, no, Captain. I aim to stay so long as I'm welcome. I figured Junlei and I could confabulate over wireless or by message. And maybe when we put into Groundbreaker, I could stop by to visit her sometimes. But only when you don't need me with you.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to waste your time or nothing.
Did you learn your trade from your father? It sounded like it when you talked to Reed.
Mostly, yeah. I lived in the maintenance office near all my life. Mr. Thompson never let me forget how funny that was.
Reed seemed to have it in for you.
I'm not exactly a model employee. Not like he wanted. The kind that stays quiet and gets the right work done in the right order every day. It's not normal for anyone to do as their parents. You take a vocational test. That decides your schooling and your career. When I tested out for maintenance, everyone figured it was on account of my dad. They were real unhappy with us.
But you're actually good at this, and you enjoy it.
Well, I'm good at making things work the way they ought. Not so much at doing such to somebody else's schedule. There's times I'm working deep in the guts of a loader, getting it all running perfect. Then I look up to see it's tomorrow, and I've blown another deadline. Anyhow, I was happy to get back home. I didn't care much for schooling.
You didn't like your classes?
Oh, there were a whole lot of reading, not nearly enough doing. Like, before they'd issue you a wrench, they wanted an essay on the design of different wrenches. Then there'd be quizzes on company regulations for storage and maintenance of wrenches.
What'd you do on your time off?
As soon as I got permission, I spent all my time in the machine shop. They had all manner of parts, but they didn't want me using them, so I had to sneak them sometimes. I even slept in there. Had a hammock tied up in the rafters. Before I left, I installed a little skylight for myself, so I could see the stars.
Build anything fun?
When an engine came in, I'd strip it down and rebuild it. I mostly built for myself. Custom tools, little mechanical critters to talk to. When my roommates tried to talk, I'd get so nervous I'd be drenched in sweat. It was easier for everybody when I stayed off on my own. I doubt any of them remember me now.
And after school, you moved back to Edgewater?
Yep, nothing much had changed. Everything was a little grayer, a little dirtier. Dad met me at the shuttle and gave me a big ol' hug. I noticed straight away that he was moving slower and stiffer. He made a little grunt when I squeezed.
Did you get much time with him after you got back to from school?
About a year. I tried to do more of the work so he could rest. His heart gave him pains. Dad never said that he loved me, you know? I knew on account of him showing it. How he'd stay up late to help with my projects or listen to my fretting. Oh gosh, look at the time. Sorry to bend your ear so long. And I got so much to do before this ship's in decent shape.
Okay. Shroud. Shroud projects this disguise on you and your companions that gives you access to restricted areas provided you have the correct ID cartridge for that area. Okay. Messages. Sent messages. Unread. From. Not to mention in my previous message telling me I'm mailing you a copy of my favorite serial, Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. Okay. Yeah, read that another time. Ooh. Examine. So, like the spores of the puffball cast on the wind and the lighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. Okay. Hippie talk. Yay. What? What's that? Okay. Boink. Heavily dog deer with doodles in the margin. More for not. This is not a petunia. Okay. Full of modified tools with unique mechanical usages. Digging around in here would be an easy way to lose a finger. Yes, it would be. Pick up a spade. My first wrench Dad ever gave me. Oh. Stern older man with warm eyes. Textbooks. More textbooks. Oh jeez. Smells suspiciously like iceberg aged whiskey. Iceberg aged whiskey. In mint condition, most of these cards represent players from the Hephaestus Hammers and the Talbackers. Thank you. Hello.
By verity, by strength. What are we contemplating today?
Let's talk about this personal quest of yours.
Are you ready to break into security on the Groundbreaker?
Not quite. Remind me why?
If I can access the data cartridge from the terminal in security, I can easily hack into their arrivals and departures registry. That'll give us dates, times, and the crew manifests for every registered ship. I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the Philosophist's off-world destination.
Okay. How is it that a simple vicar happens to be such a highly skilled hacker?
Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
Okay. I'll have to think about it. Sword. What doesn't kill you gives you tetanus. Tinnitus. Okay. Spectrum vodka. Ooh. Toilet. Okay. Power room. Ada, what is that big robot in that room there?
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
Know anything about the automechanical gathering dust in the janitor's closet?
The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it, but I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate.
Okay. Search SAM. First SAM results. Do not forget you found a discarded SAM in Emerald Vale's scrap heap during your last job. Should not be too difficult to get it up and running. With a few key modifications, I can envision a combat capable variant. Some might say a clean, mean killing machine. Should be fun. Removal of factory standards part Sud Steeper was successful. Delivery of combat modified replacement part Acid Steeper has been delayed. Progress setback is estimated now to be a solid 3 months. Not like I have any more pressing matters to attend to, but I do. Giving up hope on delivery. Part is lost in transition and it's not turning up anytime soon. Find an Acid Steeper. Okay. Heard from a fellow who knows a gal from who knows the broker who overcharged me for the information regarding the location of an Acid Steeper at Eichener Filch. Good thing Auntie abandoned it years ago. I'll pick it up next pit stop back to Emerald Vale. Wells wants me to chaperone some persons of interest. Details to come later. Okay. Select. Oh. Select up to 2 companions. Oh, I see. Okay. Skill. Okay. Sure. Perks. What should I add? Walk speed, tactical, dilation time. Additional ammo, crit, walk speed. Yeah, that seems useful. Okay. Let's see what you're using. A shoddy and a two-handed melee. Yeah, you're fine. Let's give you more hack. Double click jump when moving forward. Deep forward. Double jump. Ooh. Cool. Jane Elson.
Captain. Hey, Captain. I'm in space. Still reviewing your manifest. Why not head on over to the promenade?
Okay.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses? He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little back bay brat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the Groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this. I need a trick.
Okay. Alright. Yeah. And that does it for today. It's 9 o'clock here. And I need to get ready for bed. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Yeah. I'm probably gonna come back on around the same time, about 7:30 Pacific time tomorrow, but we'll see. Follow my Twitter to see when I go back on, or just follow me on Twitch. and you'll get the alert. All right, thanks for watching. Hope to see you all next time. Okay.